Welcome to experiment number 3. The title of the experiment is Time and Frequency Response of RC and RL Circuits. The main aim of the experiment is to study the time response of RC and RL circuits. In order to get the time response, we are giving square wave signals as input to these circuits. The output will be measured in the DSO. We can measure the frequencies in this DSO. We can compare this even the results with the theory. Coming to the circuit that we are going to interconnect here, the first circuit is RC circuit. Among these RC circuits, there will be again two circuits called RC integrated circuit and RC differentiated circuit. The circuits interconnections are done according to the, first we are going to discuss about the RC integrated circuit. The interconnection is done according to the manual that is given. You can see the diagram there. And the input voltage that is given here is 5 volts peak to peak. Now I am going to on the DSO so that you can observe the square wave that is given as input. See, as we can observe the square wave given from function generator, you can observe across channel 1. And another thing is we have to keep 10 volts peak to peak. And we can measure the 10 volts peak to peak from the measure button across DSO. See whether across channel 1 it is 10 point, approximately 10 volts. So being 10 volts, another important thing you have to keep in mind is you have to keep in DC mode. You have to keep both channel 1 and channel 2 in DC mode. By pressing channel 1 button and using the coupling button, you can see whether it is in DC mode or not. Yes, it is in DC mode now. Similarly for channel 2, see whether it is in DC mode or not. Yeah, it is in DC mode. Okay, after completing this thing, we have to observe the time response of this particular circuit. For observing the time response, we have mainly 3 different cases. The first case is whenever the time period of the square wave is far less than the time constant of the circuit. And the time period of the square wave is almost equal to the time constant, and the time period of the square wave is far greater than time constant. So coming to the first case, whenever the time period is very less than the time constant, so we will take the frequency across that particular case is 25 kHz. So by keeping 25 kHz, as we observe in function generator, so by making after keeping 25 kHz on the channel 2 in DSO. So you can observe the output across channel 2, where the input given at 25 kHz. It is a triangular waveform. As the name of the circuit tells about the RC integrated circuit, the output will be an integration of the input. So as input is a square wave, the output must be a triangular wave. So we can observe and sketch this Vi and V0 when we can observe the features of how V0 is varying along with the input. So coming to the second case, whenever the time constant is almost equal to the time period of the circuit, so we will take frequency in this case as 5 kHz. So we can change this keep 5 kHz in function generator. So you can change see the variations in DSO how these are varying. So by making some adjustments, and we will see how these variations are there. So in this case, so it is not exact angle, it is getting somewhat near to the input. So at this particular point, we can find even the time constant of the circuit from the CRO by taking any 2 points on the rising and falling parts of V0 and measuring the voltage and timing intervals. We can measure the time constant. We can compare this time constant with the theoretical time constant that will be measured from the RNC by the given circuit. So coming to the third step of this time response, that is whenever the time period is very higher than the time constant. So for this we will take the frequency as 500 Hz. This can be set through function generator. H. See, now making some adjustments here. Yeah. Now you can observe the output waveform across channel 2. Now we can sketch V and V0. So in this case, means why you are getting in 3 different cases like this. See, in this case, the time constant of the circuit is very less. Coming to the 25 kHz case, So in 25 kHz case, we are getting a triangular waveform. Because why you are getting this type of waveform means the time constant is very more. So it is not getting, but because the time period is very less, we are not getting sufficient time, discharging time or rising time or falling time for capacitor. So it is not going up to complete 5 volts of the capacitor. So now coming to the 500 Hz case. So in this case, we will observe that output is almost equal to input, because it is the rise time and fall time are very less here, and it is getting near to the input. You can see that. So here the rise time and fall time are very less. The main point you should observe here is the integrator action is performing in the first case. Okay, and we have to observe all the VA and V nodes here and sketch these waveforms. Next, so you can get the exact waveform by making some adjustments. Yeah, so now you can observe that rise time and fall time is almost very less. It is somewhat nearer, it is almost nearer to the input voltage. So now by doing this, the RC integrated circuit part is completed. So coming to the next part, RC differentiator circuit. The only variation in this RC differentiator circuit is interchanging resistor and capacitor. We will get RC differentiator circuit. Now you can make the variation, just interchange the resistor and capacitor things. So circuit connections has been done for RC differential circuit according to the circuit that is given in the manual. So we can observe the square wave input 5 volts, 10 volts peak to peak. And in this also, for finding step response or time response, we will have 3 different cases. In RC differential circuit also there will be 3 different cases. So one as said in the previous case. So starting from the first case, whenever the time period of the square waveform is far less than time constant, that is frequency 25 kHz. So keeping 25 kHz from the function generator and making the channel to on, you can observe the output. So at 25 kHz, we can see the output how it is varying. So like that, we can observe the same step response by making the frequency at 5 kHz in the second case. This the time period is almost equal to time constant. You can see there will be variation from the input across the resistor. So you can observe this waveform. So coming to the third case, that is nothing but at 500 Hz. Making some adjustments here. You can see how the output is there. It's almost looking like impulse. So as the name implies, it's RC differentiated circuit. Means as input is step input, the output should be impulse. So we are getting this at the frequency at 500 Hz roughly. So why you are getting like this means, as in this particular case, the time period of this square waveform is very greater than time constant. So the whole voltage across the input will be across the capacitor. So we are finding the voltage across resistor. So it will be almost 0. So we are observing this waveform in that particular case. Coming to the fourth step of this part, keep the input frequency at 40 kHz. And function generator. Making some adjustments in times per division. So we can observe a linear tilt seen across V0. So it is not exactly linear output V0. So there will be some linear tilt. So by increasing the frequency from here, from the function generator, from the function generator. Some particular, by increasing further, we can see at particular frequency that the tilt will be negligible. It will be almost look like input. You can observe the variations across the function DSO by varying the frequency. So we can find the minimum frequency at which the tilt is almost negligible. It will look like almost linear. So by doing this part, we complete this RC differentiated circuit part. So coming to the next part of this experiment, so coming to the next part, it is RL circuit. So RL circuits, in this also we have two different circuits, RL differentiated circuit and RL integrated circuit. So the steps that should be followed are same as the previous steps that we followed in RC circuits. That part we are skipping, that you can do that part easily. Coming to the third part of the experiment, that is frequency response of RC and RL circuits. In this, first we are going to see the circuit of RC integrated circuit. This circuit is also called as RC low pass filter because it passes low frequencies and attenuates high frequencies. So the introduction is done as shown previously. Now the main variation compared to previous one is we have to keep the input signal waveform shape as sine. Previous one it is pulse shape. Now previous it is pulse shape. Now we should keep in sine wave by changing the wave button. So you can observe the sine wave across the DSO. Now the main thing is you have to keep the peak to peak voltage as 2 volts. So by using the amplitude button and the function generator, we can make the peak to peak voltage as 2. So PVP 2 volts can be observed in DSO. Another important thing that you should remember is we should keep the DC offset as 0. So by using coupling, we should keep in AC mode. And across channel 2 also, we should keep in AC mode. So they are already both in AC mode. So no need of any variation. So after keeping this, we have to observe the output waveform. So on the channel 2, so you can observe the output waveform there. And now the main important part is, so we should observe the VA and V0, means output frequency, input waveform and output waveform at different frequencies, starting from 200 Hz. So starting from 200 Hz. By making some adjustments in time per division, voltage per division, we can observe the VA and V. So like this, by starting from 200 Hz, vary the frequency like up to 500 Hz, 1 kHz, 2 kHz, up to 200 kHz. And at each particular place, you observe both V0 and Vi and note down in a table form. In the particular range of 1 kHz to 2 kHz, take readings for every 100 Hz, like from 1000 Hz, 1100 Hz to up to 2000 Hz. Okay, make down in a table form. Now coming to the next step, for each of the above frequency settings, you should also display V0 versus VA. This can be done using XY mode. So first you should need to ground the two inputs. This can be done by going to the XY mode. First go to the XY mode, go to the menu button and press XY. Keep both the channels in ground mode so that you can set the exactly at the center. So we can see the dot in the DSO. As you can observe, there is a dot here. So this dot should be exactly at the center. So now the dot is exactly at center. Now make these waveforms back into AC mode and channel 2 also. And now display in XY mode. So now, after keeping the dot at the center, now we will observe the diagram as shown given in the manual. As you can see in the DSO the diagram. So in this diagram, by varying at different frequencies, we can find the phase across V0 and Va. We can measure the V, Y and A in the as said. How should we measure means it is given in the manual. Measure according to that we can measure Y and A. Using these subdivisions, we can find the measure Y and A. With that, you can find the phase angle theta. So at different frequencies, we will find the different phase angles between VA and V0. So we will form a table of those at different frequencies, different phase angles across VA and V0. From those table of amplitudes and phase readings obtained from the above steps, we should plot a graph. First, before drawing the graph, we should find the logarithmic gain. From the table that we have got before of V0 and VA, the logarithmic gain formula is given here. AB is equal to 20 log V0 by VA. So at different frequencies we should find the AB at different points. So we have to draw all these tables on a graph sheet called semi-log graph paper. You can see this graph paper now. So in this the x-axis is it will be a log scale. It will be in powers of tens. In our case, the x-axis is taken as frequency and y-axis is either voltage gain or phase. So if you start from, as you can observe all these frequencies. Suppose if you start from the x-axis as 1 Hz and it will vary. This will be 10 Hz and this will be 100 Hz. And this will be 1 kHz and 10 kHz. If we start the starting axis as 10 Hz, it will be in 100 Hz. So it will be in the powers of 10. It will vary. So it will be 100 Hz, 1 kHz, and 10 kHz and 100 kHz. So according to our requirement, we can start at a required point, and we will get up to the maximum frequency we can get. Suppose, so this is a dB axis. Starting from 0 dB, 1 dB. Suppose if we want to plot a value, a voltage gain value across 2 kHz in our axis, so that we can, starting at this, so this is 1 kHz, this will be, next will be the 2 kHz, we can plot, suppose it is 1 dB, for example, take it as 1 dB. So we can plot the point here. So like this we can plot at different frequencies. On the y-axis there will be voltage gain, so we can plot easily and draw the graph easily. So similarly we can proceed this thing for even for phase components. Now the y-axis will be phase components and x-axis will be again frequency, so you can draw the different graph again. Now this part of RC part is completed. Now coming to the RL circuit, RL differentiated circuit, we should repeat all the above steps, and again we should draw all the tables, and we should plot the graphs again on a different semi-log graph sheet according to the frequency. The frequency variations are given in the manual. Those are starting from 2 kHz to 500 kHz. So by doing this, the experiment will now be completed. Thank you.